Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back in the Madden 22 rebuild. In today's episode, we're going to be rebuilding the Baltimore Ravens, but with the new addition of Marcus Williams. Now, I was so hesitant to get to this video because I had actually previously recorded this video like 2 weeks ago, and I did it with Zadarius Smith, and then as soon as I finished recording, editing, and literally uploading the video, it was supposed to drop in a couple of hours. Zadarius Smith announced that he pulled out of the deal. So I had to completely scrap the rebuild, make a new rebuild, and then come out the next day with another one. Sometimes you guys will be like, oh, why haven't you uploaded for a week? It's not that I haven't uploaded for a week. It's just that something new happens in the NFL, and I have to completely scrap videos and remake them, or else I'm going to have some 12-year-old be like, oh, Zadarius Smith pulled out of the Ravens deal. Why did you make this video? It's like I didn't make it at the time that he pulled out of the deal. Like, I'm aware of whenever NFL stuff happens, you'll just have really dumb comments, and I just don't want to deal with them. That's how irritating it is to be a YouTuber sometimes, even whenever you're one as small as me. So anyways, enough of me complaining. Marcus Williams, I gotta say, I love this signing because Deshaun Elliott, I love Deshaun Elliott, don't get me wrong. He's just so injury prone. He cannot stay healthy for the life of him, like literally for the life of him. And it's just so annoying. I can't do anything about it. But as a Ravens fans in this upcoming draft, we did get Odafe away last year, and I do like him as an edge rusher. It's just the problem with him is we just need more from him, and we can't expect that much more from a rookie. So this is what I got for the team, and I forgot to re-sign two major players on this team, which is one, Calais Campbell. I don't think the Ravens are going to have cap to re-sign him anyways, and dogs are going wild as always in most of my videos, and Morgan Moses. I need to re-sign as well. For some reason, the CPU just didn't sign him whenever I asked to re-sign, so I'm going to have to go off camera and do that myself. Let's get into this draft. Now, in the draft, I think the Ravens will pick up this defensive end out of Purdue. George, I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm going to get torched in the comments. I don't know how you pronounce a lot of these names in this upcoming draft. Karlaftis? George Karlaftis is what I'm going to say is how you pronounce it. 6'4" speed rusher out of Purdue, hidden dev. I think the Ravens will go with him. If Kayvon Thibodeau somehow falls in the draft, he's been projected to fall. If he falls all the way to the Falcons at pick number 8, I think the Ravens will trade up. But this is what I'm going to go with for now at pick 14. Here we are after the draft, and I've been blind this entire time. Morgan Moses is actually on this team. He just wasn't over here on the right side of this line. I also picked up this right tackle in the draft, so I'm actually going to be starting him, even though the Ravens did sign Morgan Moses in real life. I honestly think they're going to end up cutting Juwan James to release some cap room for them, especially $3 million in cap there. So let's refresh this and probably get Morgan Moses over here. He's going to start actually for the first season, just because I think he'll start for the first season in real life. In real life, I don't know if the Ravens will be officially able to re-sign Calais Campbell, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. So it looks like the CPU also picked up Zach Harris. I don't know who you are, but you may be good potentially. So I'm going to start you over Derek Wolfe. Derek Wolfe, I don't think the Ravens will cut him in real life. Yeah, because they'll take a cap penalty. So I'm going to start this guy, George, over Derek Wolfe. And Odafe's ways here, specialist. Let's see what we got. George is going to start. And Buke. Harris is going to go here next to right below Odafe away. And Devin Duvernay in the slot. JK, I'm going to start over Gus Edwards officially. And I got everything else. Got a receiver set up. We're looking pretty good in the Chiefs scheme right now for our offense. Tyree Phillips, I think he's going to start over Ben Powers anyways. Who was our center? There was a center that we had that ended up going to the Panthers. Was it Ben Powers? I don't think it was. It was someone else. But anyways, Tyree Phillips is going to start just because of his development. So anyways, guys, apart from that, it is now time to move in to the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 4-2 in a highly contested division. We're 4-2 and third in the division. That really tells you how contested this division is, as Bengals are 6-1, Browns are 6-1. And if we lose to Pittsburgh this week, then we fall to the bottom of the division. Looking at the players ready to negotiate, Lamar Jackson should have had a fifth-year option, but I'm going to just deal with this now. $37 million a year, and he re-signs. Marcus Peters, I would like a 1 or 2 year deal with him. I don't want to pay $14 million a year, but I'll pay $15 million for this 1 year. Then once he regresses, he's going to go down in value. Once he goes down in value, I'll pay him a cheaper contract. Marquise Brown, of course, I want you back. I didn't get a 5th-year option for you either, but I'm still going to have you on this team. Sam Cook, in real life, I would say yes, but in Madden, there's just no point. Justice Hill, no. Miles Boykin, God no, he's been a disappointment ever since we drafted him. So apart from that, guys, it is now time to move in to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, coming off a loss to the Bengals, which ends up being our demise and not getting the first round bye. Steelers go 7-10. We go 12-5 and get 3rd in the division. That's what tells you our division's so contested. Browns go 13-4. Bengals go 13-4. I can see this happening in real life. If the Ravens stay healthy, we get the 7th seed at 12-5. Bengals get the 6th seed at 13-4. Wow. Stats and awards. Let's see what we got here. Lamar Jackson did great. 3rd for passing yards, 3rd in passing touchdowns, 9th best offense in the league, 2nd worst defense. All right then. 4,600 yards, 40 TDs, 12 interceptions, 67% completion percentage. JK with 13 TDs, 3.9 per carry, and 1,100 yards. Not amazing, but whatever. Devin Duvernay, 1,100 yards, 7 TDs. His breakout year. Mark Andrews, 11 TDs, 1,000 yards. Marquise Brown, exactly 1,000 yards, 10 TDs. Rashad Bateman, 7 TDs, 890. Pretty solid. Looking at it defensively, Patrick Queen, 115 tackles for a loss. 26 for a rookie. Sacks, 21 for a rookie. If this happened in real life, I would be stunned. Interceptions, 3 for Marlon Humphrey, 3 for Chuck Clark. Safeties on the team is 1 for Malik Harrison and 1 for Kobe Bryant. Okay. Defensive touchdown, 0. Hopefully Kobe Bryant doesn't take his helicopter to work. And yeah, we're going to see what we got here against the Bengals. Probably going to lose in the wild card round. And we do, 56-24. All right then, it's now time to move to the offseason. And the Chiefs beat the Cardinals in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl MVP and the league MVP and the Offensive Player of the Year. It looks like George wins Rookie of the Year. That is awesome to see. So I should be able to see at least a superstar development after 21 sacks. In real life, he would get X Factor, but it is what it is. Offensively, this is what we look like. It looks like there is no development upgrades other than Mark Andrews, Superstar X Factor, 98 overall. George now has Superstar Dev. He is now a, 81 overall without the boost? Without the boost, he's an 81 overall. Now he's an 82 overall. Wow. Immediate upgrades. Dude was a beast his first year in simulation. I hope this happens in real life. And I'm so glad I started him over Derek Wolfe. And 84 overall without the boost. 87 overall Superstar with the boost. And he looks like to be the only defensive upgrader. Did he come with Superstar? I want to see. No, he got Superstar, so I'm not going to upgrade him. And yeah, very, very good progression for this team. We went 12-5. We had an amazing season. It's just the division is so highly contested, I can't do anything. Only $10 million to spend in free agency. I would like to save that money if I possibly can, especially since we have Marcus Peters in the next contract upcoming. So yeah, especially since we just spent so much money on Lamar Jackson too. So let's go to the AFC North. What am I doing? AFC North, nobody in the AFC North retires. With Joe Burrow, Money Mitch Trubisky, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson in the same division, it's going to be hard. It's kind of like the AFC West. Sam Cook, everyone else here, again, just garbage, no interest in. And $10 million a year, not $10 million a year, $10 million salary cap is not enough to participate in free agency. So I'm going to simulate to the draft. At the end of the first round, I'm picking up a defensive back out of Texas A&M. Morgan Smith doesn't seem to be good just because the normal dev. I mean, 92 speed. He's probably a decent overall, but for a first round pick, I'm disappointed. Here we are after the draft, as it looks like the CPU picked up this guy named Curry. Jalen Curry, right tackle out of Vanderbilt. So actually, I'm going to move him to right guard and start him over Kevin Zeitler, considering Kevin Zeitler is on his way out and he is regressing. So he's going to start at right guard. Good that we have upgraded the offensive line. Well, the CPU did. I necessarily didn't. Defensively looking into it, looks like, Smith. Morgan Smith is a 75 overall. So he was a good pick. He just didn't have a development, so that's upsetting to see, but it's fine. Derek Wolfe, I just don't need you anymore, dude. I already have depth anyways. I'm going to save $2 million by cutting you because I'll take a $3 million cap space luxury, and then not a luxury. I'll free up $3 million cap space, then 1.8 in whatever cap penalty. So basically 1.2 million saved, but whatever. Zach Harrison is still a depth player. He's just going to be overall better long-term than Derek Wolfe. So specialist, let's see what we got here. George can be there. Harris again over Tyus Bowser. Smith is going to play in the slot. Hopefully he can develop. Gus the Bus as a third down, second string RB. And yeah, looking pretty solid. So apart from that, hopefully the division won't be as contested, but it will be because we have Joe Burrow and Deshaun Watson in the same division, and of course, Money Mitch. So it's time to move in to the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark because we are 6-1, but not top the division. Browns are 6-1. We are 6-1. Steelers 5-2. Bengals 5-2. If we lose this, we'll drop from second division to the bottom of the division. I've never seen such a highly contested division in Madden before. It's ridiculous. Anyways, Justin Tucker, I do want to re-sign. $88 million in cap. How? That we only had 10. Whatever. I guess it's because we have to re-sign players. Michael Pierce. I don't want to pay you $11 million, but again, since you will regress, I'll give you this 1-year deal. Then once you regress, it'll be cheaper and cheaper every time every time I re-sign you on the 1-year deal. Marcus Williams, I thought the Ravens signed him for a 5-year deal in real life, so I'm going to give him that, and he re-signs. J.K. Dobbins, of course I want you back. Ravens usually don't re-sign running backs, we recycle them, but this is cheap, and he's an 87 overall. Marcus Peters, I already explained. Good stuff. See, last season he was $15 million a year. Now this season he's only going to be $11 million for this season, and I'm going to re-sign him. Patrick Ricard, we already re-signed him in real life, so I will re-sign him back, and he re-signs. Patrick Queen, of course, he was a first-round pick. Should have had a 5th-year option, but I'll just give him his contract anyways. He re-signs. Chuck Clark, no. He's going to regress. Taylor Heineke, don't need him really. He's just a backup. Gus, in real life, I feel like the Ravens might actually move on from him just because he's 28, and regression for running backs, just one day you'll just see him fall off completely. So we can recycle Gus Edwards. Justin Mabuke, I will resign him when I get the chance. Same thing with Devin Duvernay. Kevin Zeitler, no. Nick Boyle, no. Tyree Phillips, yes. Everyone else here is a no. So apart from that, guys, I would say that it is now time to move in to the playoffs if we can actually hopefully make it in this contested division. Here we are in the playoffs, actually taking the top of the division, going 13-4 with a bye. Browns go 11-6, Bengals go 11-6. Browns make the playoffs, Bengals make the playoffs, Steelers make the playoffs, and Ravens make the playoffs. First time I've ever seen Madden simulation or in real life that all 4 teams in one division make the playoffs. Imagine, there are 7 teams allowed to make the playoffs, and 4 from one division make the playoffs. The majority of the playoffs is just that one division. One of them is bound to win the Super Bowl. Come on now. Like, I can't see it otherwise. And one of them is guaranteed to make, like, the conference championship, right? So if the Colts beat the Browns and the Colts beat the Ravens, the Bengals, well, actually, none of them are guaranteed to make the conference championship because who knows? Maybe they'll all lose out and be a first-round exit. Anyways, looking into the stats and awards here, let's see what we got. Lamar, that's the league MVP. Show it to me. Bro, second. Shut up. Most passing yards, most passing touchdowns, top 10 passer rating. I'm sure his rushing yards were probably solid as well. 210 for 2 touchdowns. Yeah, that's completely unrealistic at all. Okay, so 3rd best offense in the NFL and 17th best defense. Looking at 5,000 passing yards, 42 touchdowns, 11 receptions, 71% completion percentage. J.K. Dobbins, 15 TDs. Gus Edwards, 10 TDs. J.K. with 4.6 per carry and 1,100 yards. Rashad Bateman, 1,200 yards, 9 TDs. Devin Duvernay, 8 TDs, almost 1,200 yards as well. Mark Andrews, almost 1,100 yards, 14 TDs. Great year. Marquise Brown, 3 TDs. Barely over 1,000 yards, though. Looking at it defensively, Malik Harrison, 115 tackles for a loss, 13 for Michael Pierce. Sacks, 10 for Odafe Away, 8 for Michael Pierce. Interceptions, 4 for Marlon Humphrey. Looking at safeties, 1 for George. Defensive touchdowns is 0. So anyways, guys, apart from that, it is now time to move in to the divisional round to see if we are going to be a first-round exit, kind of like how the Ravens were whenever we were 14-2. 12-5 Pittsburgh Steelers, who took second in the division. We could easily lose here. I wouldn't be too surprised if we did. And Money Mitch beats us in the divisional round. Are you serious? I mean, I said I wouldn't be too surprised, but at the same time, I kind of am. I want to see if Money Mitch is still their QB. I didn't mean to look at my roster. I meant to look at the NFL rosters. So let's go to the Steelers and go to the Jacoby Brissett. Okay, Jacoby Brissett just beat us. All right, then. Sure. Anyways, let's move in to the offseason. And wow, Jacoby Brissett wins the Super Bowl. Miles Jack wins Super Bowl MVP. Thank you, EA. Quality game that Jacoby Brissett would, again, like, did you guys remember in Madden 20, I think it was? No, Madden 21, Jacoby Brissett and what was it, Cam Newton were just gods in simulation. They continue to bring it back. Let's look into the roster to see if there is any development upgrades. Offensively, I'm surprised our defense, our receivers didn't get an upgrade, but Curry is a superstar dev. That's extremely important. Patrick Murkai, yeah, I'm going to keep him around. I think our offensive line is solidified now, honestly. Even though we have 2 normal devs, that's fine. Morgan Moses won't be here for the next season. Defensively, looking into it, it looks like nobody got an upgrade somehow. I'm honestly kind of surprised by that. Literally nobody on the team at all got an upgrade. So that's just unfortunate. We'll just have to re-sign and try and maintain players. We have $36 million to spend all of a sudden. I thought our cap room was $7 million whenever I looked at it at the playoffs. So apparently we have a lot more money to spend, just all of a sudden for no reason. I think it's because we have to re-sign certain players. 2023 retirements, let's see who we have. Oh, it looks like Cameron Hayward retires on top. And that is the only person in the AFC North that retires. So we're going to look into the players ready to negotiate to see who we have here. We're going to have Chuck Clark, no. Gus Edwards, no. Justin Mabuke, he's still good depth and he's actually a starter right now. So I will re-sign him, up the money for him. And he resigns. Devin Duvernay, I would like back as well. It's a pretty cheap deal, especially for a receiver of his caliber and his youth. So he's good. Malik Harrison, that's good depth, and he's stupid cheap. Only $2.5 million a year. He resigns. Nick Boyle, no. Tyree Phillips, yes, I would like back and up the money for him. I don't think we're gonna get anything better in the draft, so he resigns. Morgan Moses, not Mogus, has regressed to a 69 overall. Nice. Okay. So we're not going to worry about him. And yeah, we have $16 million to spend. Again, I would like to just continue to re-sign players. I don't think I'll be able to participate in free agency. We only have this extra $6 million to spend from last year because of the Marcus Peters contract that I'm slowly working down with and his money because he's regressing over time. So apart from that, it's time to move to the draft. With my first round pick, I'm picking up a strong safety, Paul Carroll. 6'2", 220 out of Ohio State. He looks overall good. A, finesse moves. B, hit power. B, man coverage. I thought that was solid. C, block shedding for a strong safety. Overall, that looks pretty good. Only normal dev, though. He's probably going to be one of those guys with like 75 overall, but normal dev. That's so upsetting. Let's get to the second round. Here we are after the draft as the CPU picked up this guy named Hunt, James Hunt. He seems to be pretty solid, but we're going into our third season. I don't think he's going to pass our Nicholas, our right tackle currently, so we're just going to keep him as a depth player. The CPU is just so much better at drafting than me. I just don't know what's up with that. So defensively, looking into it, what do we got? It looks like, 77 overall. That was a great pick. He just doesn't have a development. 77 overall is an amazing, and I mean amazing overall for you to pick up. Wearing 10 is kind of gross, but yeah, Smith, 77. Like, our defense is good. It's not bad. It's just it won't develop. So, anyways, guys, apart from that, I would say it's time to move into the midseason. As I say, apart from that, on literally every sentence. Let's go to the free agency actually first and look at the halfbacks. Doesn't look like what's it? I'm blanking so hard here. Why am I blanking? Gus Edwards is not here. That's what I was looking for. I need a power back, please. Elusive power is Darrell Williams. Okay, sure. We're going to get you as a power back because we need a third down back. So you will be our second string. So it's now time to move into the midseason and the third season. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 6-1. Steelers are 5-1. Thank God somehow the Browns and Bengals are 1-5 and 1-6. We actually have a chance to compete now in this division without having to worry whether or not we get the bottom seed or the first seed and still make the playoffs. Anyways, players ready to negotiate. Makes no sense why the Bengals or the Browns are at the bottom. Odafe Away, he was a first-round pick. Again, I skipped out on free agency, so I didn't get to select his fifth-year option. $14 million a year sounds good to me. Michael Pierce, again, he was, $11 million last season? Now he's $9 million, so I'm just going to keep going down with him exactly how I did with Marcus Peters, because if you do a long-term deal, then if I did a long-term deal with Marcus Peters, I would still be paying him $15 million a year. Now I only have to pay him $8 million a year. Last season it was $10. It's slowly just going to keep working its way down. I like that. Rashad Bateman, again, 5th-year option. I just skipped out on because I just simulated to the draft and missed free agency. So I'll just give him a contract. He resigns. Patrick, I would like. I don't think I can find a center better than him in free agency anyways. It's only $5 million a year. He resigns. Tyus Bowser. You have star dev. This is stupid cheap, actually. 3-year deal, almost $4 million a year. I'll do that. I mean, he is going to regress, but it was kind of a dumb cheap deal, so I don't need to worry about that. Everyone else here I don't have an interest in. So apart from that, guys, it's now time to get into the playoffs and hopefully make it. Here we are at the midseason mark. No, not midseason. Playoffs. 14-3, top of the division. Steelers are 11-6, Bengals 8-9. Browns somehow went 14-3. Get a first-round bye again. Hopefully we can actually capitalize on it this time. Jackson did great. Not going to be top 5 for MVP because that's how Madden works. 5th best offense in the NFL. Best defense in the NFL. Let's go. 4,700 yards, 42 TDs, 8 interceptions, 68% completion percentage. And JK, 13 TDs, 4.2 per carry, 1,200 yards. Very similar to last season. Almost 300 attempts, so 1 yard shy. Darrell Williams, 5 TDs actually. Pretty good. Duvernay with a rushing touchdown, 149 yards. Jackson, how did Duvernay have more rushing yards and more rushing attempts than Lamar? That's stupid. Duvernay, 1,200 yards, 7 TDs. Mark Andrews, 9 TDs, 1,000 yards. Marquise Brown, bro, again, he's just barely grazing 1,000 yards. He's doing the most bare minimum to consider himself a top wide receiver. 12 TDs. I still think that's superstar dev worthy. 12 TDs, over 1,000 yards. Rashad Bateman, 11 TDs, 817. Very good overall. Duvernay's been consistent. He just hasn't put up double-digit touchdowns, really. Patrick Queen, 115 tackles for a loss, 13 for Michael Pierce, sacks 18 for George. Let's go. Michael Pierce, 9, Odafe 9, Justin Madubuike, 8.5. A lot of sacks to go around. It kind of sounded gay. Marlon Humphrey, 5 interceptions. Patrick Queen with 3 safeties, 0 defensive touchdowns is 1 for Marlon Humphrey. He could get X Factor this season. Maybe the CPU will give it to him. I'm not going to forcefully give it to him because I think Superstar is fair with him. He's still a top DB in the NFL. Let's see who we're going to be playing. Broncos, I'm glad I don't have to play Jacoby Brissett. Patrick Surtain is a 95 X Factor. Their offense is 4th best in the league, but their defense is only 16th, while ours is number 1. See if we can beat them. They're 10-7. If we lost to Russell Wilson, I wouldn't be too upset. He's pretty good. Yeah, 35-14. It's just upsetting the matchups that we have to get. We are a good team. It's just we can't pull through in the divisional, so it's now time to move to the offseason. Now, this is something I don't like. The Cowboys winning the Super Bowl in simulation. It happens all the time, but we all know it won't happen in real life. Russell Wilson loses in the Super Bowl once again, but he loses with the Broncos this time. There are no awards here for the Baltimore Ravens. For those of you guys saying, oh my God, you're sucking at rebuilds. You haven't even won a playoff matchup yet. Yeah. Bro, like, I'm trying my best here. I've made the best possible team I can, and I got back-to-back first seeds and just lose in the divisional. I can't control simulation. I'm sorry about that we play good teams. Anyways, 2024 retirements. Let's see who we have here. We have the AFC North. Nobody retires. Robert Gronkowski retires, though. I saw that. Players ready to negotiate. Let's see who we have here. We have absolutely nobody of interest to me. So what else do we have? We have $9 million in cap. Seems to be not really working out for us in the cap room situation. I'm looking at the team to see if there is any development upgrades. Marquise Brown has consistently got 1,000 yards and he had 12 touchdowns this season. So I'm going to give him superstar development, whether you kind of like it or not. So whether you like it or not, he's going to a superstar. I like that he's wearing number 5, even though it's Joe Flacco's number. But yeah, he gets the dev upgrade. Marlon Humphrey gets X Factor. That's awesome. Odafe gets superstar dev. This dude has been a beast ever since we drafted him. I don't know why he wouldn't get Superstar X Factor. He had quite a bit of sacks this season as well. So I'm going to give him the X Factor. You can cry in the comments if you don't like it. So he's getting the X Factor. Looking at it defensively. Anything else here? No. A strong safety is good. It's just, again, just irritating that he doesn't have a development. So apart from that, only $9 million to spend. I can't really do anything. Maybe I'll trade for a middle linebacker or something in the draft. I don't know. So it's time to skip into the draft. Okay, now since it's the 4th and final year, I don't think I'm really going to find a linebacker that's going to be above a 77 overall, which is what Malik Harris is right now. So I'm going to have to trade for one, a 1st, a 2nd, and a 4th for Tremaine Edmonds. And since we just traded away our entire draft capital, I'm just going to skip to the end of the draft now, and I'll see you guys with the next overlook of the team. Here we are after the draft, as the CPU is just so much better than me at drafting literally everything. This guy was probably like a third-round pick because I didn't have a first or a second. Awards, yeah, he was a third-round pick. I didn't even pick him. He's a 73 star dev. He's so much better at picking than me. 75 overall right tackle. He's a second string. And this is the fourth and final overlook of the team. Mark Andrews, 99 overall. Tremaine Edmonds is a superstar. Yeah, very, very good defense. It's just, for those of you guys saying, oh my god, you're so garbage at simulations, it's like, I can't control what the CPU does. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't physically go, hey, make sure we win this divisional round. I can't do anything about that. I'm not going to cheat the system just for views. I'm going to play this honestly and actually try to do something. I've gotten 2 back-to-back first seeds. I made a wild card at 11-6. My first season was 11-6, then I went 13-4, then I went 14-3. What else do you want me to do? I physically can't do anything. It's a good team, it's a good season, we just can't capitalize, and I can't do anything about it. So it's now time to move in to the playoffs because we don't need to re-sign anybody in the midseason mark because it's the 4th and final season. Here we are in the playoffs coming off a loss to the Bengals, who are 6-11. 13-4, first seed. 3 first seeds in a row. I swear to God, if we lose in the divisional 3 times in a row, I'm going to be pissed. Steelers 11-6, Browns 11-6. They probably both made the playoffs. What? Browns and the Steelers both got snubbed out of the playoffs at 11-6. Wow. Divisions are broken. Anyways, stats and awards. Let's see what we got here. Lamar did amazing. Not going to be MVP probably. Joe Mixon on the Buccaneers wins league MVP. Not Sam Howell over Lamar. Sure, dude, sure. Best offense in the NFL. Defensively, what are we looking at? 5th best defense, top 5, nice. 5,300 yards, 42 TDs, 15 interceptions, 70% completion percentage. 70 completion percentage is what I should say. 17 TDs for JK is awesome, but 3.8 per carry isn't that awesome. Shadon Harrington, CPU picked the guy up, 5 TDs. Marquise Brown, 9 TDs, 1,200 yards. Step up from last season. Finally, he's not doing the bare minimum of yards. Devin Duvernay, 1,200 yards, 5 TDs. Mark Andrews, 10 TDs, 1,100 yards. Been very consistent. Rashad Bateman, never reached 1,000 yards in this season, but he's always been a red zone threat, getting us double-digit touchdowns. Almost 1,000 yards, 4 yards shy from it, though. Looking at it defensively, Patrick Queen, 106 tackles for a loss, 22 for George. Sacks, 14 for George, 8 for Odafe away. Justin Mabuke is 6. Interceptions, 5 for Marcus Peters, 3 for Patrick Queen. That's why I liked re-signing Marcus Peters. Safeties, 0 defensive touchdowns is 1 for Patrick Queen. So, anyways, guys, apart from that, we're going to see who we're going to be facing in the divisional round. Just to lose to them in the simulation, I'm sure people are going to comment about how much I suck at rebuild. Yeah, we've already lost. 11-6, Kansas City Chiefs. I don't expect us to win this one. Let's see what we got. Okay, first season, 11-6, made the playoffs, lost in the wild card. 3 seasons in a row after that, I made the first seed and lost in the divisional all 3 times. This can't be my fault. It's a failure of a rebuild despite me. Like, I can't do anything. I'm not going to play a wild card game. I'm not going to play a divisional game. It just seems insignificant compared to the conference championship and the Super Bowl. If you guys are picky with it, I'm sorry. This is my favorite team. I can't help it. 3 first seeds in a row and we lose all 3 times. First round exit. We didn't win a single playoff game in this rebuild, but we made the playoffs all 4 times, and 3 out of 4 of those times we had a first round bye. Like, I don't know what else you want from me. I can't do anything. It's the simulation. So apart from that, guys, I thank you guys all for watching. It wasn't a total bust of a rebuild because I did have really good seasons. It's so irritating sometimes. Apart from that, let me know which team you'd like me to rebuild next, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.